So we have two amazing individuals here tonight, and I'd like to introduce both of them, starting with Roland Martin. If anybody knows anything, give it up for Roland Martin, please. If anybody knows anything about political reporting, commentary, and bringing things from our perspective, then you have to know who Roland Martin is. And Roland Martin just said, hey, I'm happy to come down. You guys are having an event. I want to come down. I want to live tweet. I want to do all of that. I want to be part of this process. And so I'd like to give Roland Martin from CNN and from TV One and from, you got a whole deal going, Roland. You should talk to us about that, a little entrepreneurship. Roland Martin to come talk about why he's here and why it's so important for us to be involved. Roland Martin, everybody, give him a round of applause.
All right, how we doing? Y'all good? Okay, folks on the second floor, y'all good? Y'all seem a little tipsy. May want to put that song on. So glad to be here. Normally, I'm on CNN on debate nights. I guess I'm too black for the night. So I don't know what that's all about. Brother didn't get the invite, but I will be with Soul Dad tomorrow. And so as they told me, they said, we're not doing any debate nights. I said, fine. I sent a tweet out. I said, okay, who's having a viewing party in New York? And the young professionals hit me back, and I'm like, all right, I'll show up. And also, I'm going to be upstairs. I'm live tweeting for Essence Magazine tonight. We're using the hashtag Essence Debate. So anybody knows, I keep it real on Twitter. If you act a fool, I will hit you right back. So it's going to be some interesting conversations tonight. I had a chance to see my man AJ up here. He was in a corner with his fellow Omega fraternity brothers. It's all good. They couldn't get in the Alpha, I understand. See, I told y'all never mess with the brother with the microphone. Never. But I do want to say a couple of things. We talk about this election. I need to remind folks of something, so if you can quiet down 1 second. Tell the person next to you, be quiet, put the alcohol down. All right. How many folks were outraged over the killing of Trayvon Martin? We have to remind folks that the district attorney who chose not to prosecute George Zimmerman, that is an elected position. The judge that granted bail to George Zimmerman, that is an elected position. We spend lots of energy talking about the presidential race and not realize that our lives are impacted by gubernatorial races, state rep, state senate, city council, commissioners, DAs, judges, top to bottom. Black folks spend lots of time talking about the prison industrial complex. Well, guess who prosecutes people? DAs. Guess who puts them in jail? You have judges. In Dallas County, Craig Watkins was the first black district attorney elected in Texas. 30 people have been freed from prison because he made sure they did DNA testing, and he set up an entire unit to test DNA to ensure the right person is in jail. If Craig Watkins, if that brother was not the DA, there'll be 30 people still sitting in jail who did not do the crime. So we've got to explain, you've got to explain to your friends and your family members, don't just focus on President Obama and Mitt Romney, because you can't be mad about voter suppression because it was in 2010 when the folks didn't vote in those races, and then you saw what happened. So we have to remind folks that the top of the ticket matters, the middle of the ticket matters, and the bottom of the ticket matters. And let me also say, if you don't like the stand your ground law, understand that is on the ballot in 8 states in 1 month. Some people vote straight ticket. If you vote straight ticket and you look over those amendments, your vote will not be counted. So we've got to explain to people it's not just about the presidential race, because every single one of those races will affect your life. And so that's one of the things that we'll be doing. And also, since they didn't want a brother on TV tonight, very soon, in the next couple of days, I'll go ahead and do it. Jeff Johnson and I, and AJ, you can join us if you want to. Jeff Johnson and I are going to, beginning with next week's vice presidential debate, we are going to do Our Vote Matters, Our Voices Matter, where we're going to do the black perspective on the debate. We will be streaming it live. Jeff will be in Washington, D.C. I will be here at this spot in New York next week. And we will be saying, look, you don't want us on TV, fine, but we still are going to let black folks know how we feel about this election. And so you look for that announcement real soon. And so I'll be going live from here next week. And so they can't stop us from the internet because we paid our cell phone bill. So we all good. Thanks a bunch.
All right, a couple quick shout outs and thank yous. First, I'd like to give a shout out again to the JI group, Juan Fortuno, Chris White. They do it all, and when we decided to do this, Juan said he wants to be a big part of this, and so I want to give a round of applause for them because they do it all, and they don't have to do it, but they do it for the community. So I first want to say that. Secondly, I'd like to give a shout out to DJ John Quick, who is always on the case. He's the most community service-minded DJ I think I've ever seen in my life. Let's give him a shout out. He's out here giving his time. I want to give him a shout out. Also, Tara Dowdell and the Tara Dowdell group, all the PR, all the media strategy, she is on top of it. If you need anybody to come with you and do that, please look for Tara. And also, without question, Rachel Nordlinger, Reverend Sharpton's PR person, she's always on the case. So I wanted to make sure that those folks got thanked because you can't do these events by yourself. It's always a team effort. So let's make sure we shout them out. Now, speaking of team efforts, we have the first black governor of the state of New York in the house here to speak to us. I called Governor Paterson. He said, Brian, anytime, sure, because he believes in the importance of all of us and how powerful we are, and he made sure that he was here to come share a few words with us. Governor Paterson is from Harlem. He was the governor. Before that, he was state senator. And for those of you who don't, Harlem World in the building. And for those of you who don't know, because some people say, oh, these politicians don't do anything, it was Governor Paterson who got the Rockefeller drug laws overturned. And if you don't know what that is, please, Governor, I want to say a few words on that, because black men are in jail and are incarcerated at incredible rates, and thanks to what Governor Paterson has done, we have turning some of that around. So I want you to say a few words on that as well. Governor Paterson, please come on stage. You are a great governor, you're a great son of Harlem, and we'd like you to come on stage and say a few words. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Brian. Welcome, everybody. The Young Professionals United for Change is an organization whose purpose needs to be stated and restated. Hopefully, we are fulfilling the dreams of those living and dead who fought and struggled so that everyone in this country would have a right to vote. Those, I think, are part of your principles, and I pray that you'll never stray from them. Because the Voting Rights Act in this country was only passed in 1965, and already since 2008, there are forces in this country that are antagonistic and antithetical to our goals, who are trying to turn back the clock on voting. There are states that are demanding IDs. There are states that are demanding driver's licenses. There are states that are doing everything to intimidate and lower the turnout in minority, black, and other communities around this country. If you are working right now as a young professional, you have got to know that the vote was not brought to us through the proceeds of some major corporation. It didn't come from the sales of a record album. It came from our ancestors who fought, suffered, and paid so that we could exercise a right that's free on November 6th. I thought you would like that. But the reality is that there are very few states that will determine who the next president of the United States will be. Until we get to a popular vote system, there are 9 battleground states who will determine who will run this country in the next 4 years. In 1972, we lowered in this country, through an amendment to the Constitution, the voting age to age 18. Nobody that was 18 cared until 2008, when the highest turnout this country ever saw came out to vote, because for the first time in American history, there was a candidate much different than any that had come before, and his name was Barack Obama. But some saw it as a fad, or a culture of that year, or something interesting to do. But 4 years later, the problems in this country are just as critical to your own survival as they were back then. Now, Roland Martin said that government plays a role in everything that happens, and he used Trayvon Martin as an example. I'll put it in a way that will be easy for you to understand. When you were born, a doctor signed your birth certificate. That was an action of government. Yep. When you die, that sad day for you when you die, and maybe for your family, maybe, they sign a death certificate, and all in between, government has something to do with everything that is involved in your life. You have the right on November 6th to use your vote, who others spill blood for, to make that vote a reality and to take your rightful place in the decision-making capacity for who will run this country. Now, thank you. Those people were paid to applaud for me. The rest of you can do what you like. And by the way, if you want to leave while I'm speaking, I won't know one way or the other. So it's really all right. Now, this is a non-profit event, so I won't make any political statements. But if I was going to make one, I'd say this. If you want to live like a Republican, you better vote like a Democrat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor. A few quick housekeeping points. First of all, this is a nonpartisan event. If you are a Democrat or Republican, you're welcome here. And so it's nonpartisan. I just want to state that. But a few housekeeping things. First, I wanted to let the folks upstairs know that TV, you can't stand in front of it because some people are going to be looking at it from down here. So you're going to have to move when that starts. Yes, that's number one. Number two is that I made a mistake. The last day to register to vote is Friday, October 12th. Not the 16th. I got caught up in what I was thinking about next. So it's Friday, October 12th, and in the front you can sign up if you need to. The third thing I wanted to say is that there are 3 TVs. I think we should. There are 3 televisions. One by the bar on the ground floor. One right next to me on the left, and the one up there. If you can't see them, we are piping the audio, so the audio will be going through the DJ mics, so you will hear everything. And if you can, I think we can. We try to do our best because, obviously we've gone to some television. We try to do our best. But thank you for coming. Did I miss anything? Oh, and also there's another hashtag. YP4C Debate Watch. So you can do that, or you can do Roland Martin's hashtag. Please do both, if you can. Essence Debate. So there are 2 hashtags. And and also no one could be on this stage during the debate watch either. I apologize, but it's only 2 of y'all and me, so but we won't get off. So sorry about that. So please enjoy yourselves. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Roland Martin. Thank you, Governor Paterson. Let's give him another round of applause for coming up. Thanks to the host committee. And thank you, everyone, for caring about your country and being a part of the process. Thank you very much.